I was having breakfast with my grandmother this morning, and we were talking about how, the owner of CNN just passed away. It got me thinking. I started thinking about how, was that the way that the owner had designed it, right? Because, like, when I look at CNN, yes, sometimes, if it's on the TV in a fucking dentist office, I'm just going to watch it. But I'm not, like, actively switching to it because, obviously, there's just so many falsehoods. And that really goes with every mainstream news thing. It's entertainment, dude. It's entertainment. You're not getting just the numerical whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just entertainment. And what's funny is, I'm sort of getting off track a little bit here already, but a lot of these places just do not care about the truth. Now, that does not mean the employees don't. I know sometimes employees of these news stations will kind of have a little bit of some backlash from the company, or they'll say things. But, you really got to find the people who are in news that care about the truth, because if you don't care about the truth, then you're only in it for the money. And then what's the point of you telling people things, right? Like, the same goes for me, right? Where, why the fuck should I talk if I'm not expressing what I really believe to be true? Like, really, like, in my heart and in my mind's eye, like, why would I say anything? But I'm getting off the track. It made me think about how, did this guy design it this way, where it's this, like, amalgam of what it is now? Or, because I know realistically it used to be different, but it became a runaway train. And this goes for almost everything. I mean, even businesses. I look at, like, Ford, like Henry Ford, and then Edsel, his son, I believe. They were sort of in control, and then it just became a runaway train when they passed away. And I started thinking about my own business here, where I'm like, this shit dies with me, dude. This shit dies with me. I know when I die, or if I die, I've already told my family, I'm like, do not let the business go on. Don't. I mean, it's without its leader, right? It's without its owner. And, at first glance, you're going to be like, oh, well, the business or a business can help so many people if you let it continue. But what happens is it's not reined in. All these businesses, when they're run by individuals who didn't have the strength to take it over, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have the strength to say no to things. What happens is you give the business life. It's literally like Revelation. Now, obviously, I'm using metaphor here, but, like, the beast was given life. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a awkward metaphor here, but or symbolism, but, like, it's Revelation 13:15 where it says, he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So, like, I'm using a rough metaphor here, but please let me explain before you click off. So, it becomes a runaway train, right? When you do that stuff, when you just, like, let it go, it starts taking over you. It does. I mean, I see it, like I said, with Ford, like a lot of these companies where the Dodge brothers, they're long dead. And then the business continues to thrive even way after they're dead. And they don't even have the same, all these companies have gotten less than. They sell their employees out. They move to a different country, whatever. And then it becomes a lesser version of what it could have been. Whereas, I am reining in my business. My business will not get away from me. The moment I feel my grasp slipping from it is the moment it's getting shut the fuck down. That's the moment it's getting shut down. Because you can't let it run away. Because a business is an entity. As much as, oh my God, this is already pissing me off. Because I did a little bit of some law stuff in college. Like, I took, like, a law class on business law or whatever it was. I can't even exactly remember because I really didn't give a shit about it. But one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that they were like, businesses have rights. And that just didn't sit right with me because the moment you give an entity that has no soul life, this is exactly what I was saying with Revelation 13:15, it will just fuck up everything, dude. It will just, because its only goal is to stay alive. And the way that it stays alive is through money, right? It has no life, right? We give it life. And what happens is it will just destroy whatever's in front of it. It just will. Like if, because this is what happens with insurance companies. I was saying this sort of the other day and sort of alluding to it, is that insurance companies are trying to get into your pocket, right? They are trying to get into your pocket. Even if you're in the way, they're trying to get into your pocket. And rather, they would just have you out of the picture entirely and get to your wallet than have you in the picture with your wallet behind that. Like, realistically, that is their goal. If it was just an endless flow of money, they would be like, yeah, get the fuck out of the way. And the same can be said about a runaway business, where the moment it starts getting away from you, it will just consume and destroy anything around it in order to stay alive, right? Whereas we as people can rationalize and be like, okay, just shut it, because it's not a soul, right? This is what I was sort of saying with the law class, is that they're like, oh, businesses have rights because it's an individual. And it's like, no, dude, I can kill my business and resurrect it. Try to do that with a fucking person. There's only been one who's done that so far. So you mean to tell me, like, because the Indian company, right? The Indian company died, I think it was like in the 50s, and then they were recently resurrected, right? So, and I love Indian motorcycles. I think they're great. But, my point is, like, it's a business. It's not an individual. It's not an entity. And that always fucking grinds my gears whenever I hear people say that. So, yeah, I just, it made me think about that guy from CNN, where it was like, I wonder what he's thinking, where it just, it becomes a runaway train. And then now you're at the whim of the business. It's not the other way around. And then you are the one who's being dragged around doing shit for the business, rather than you are the owner. You are the one who made it. Shut it down. Shut it down. And it takes strength to do that. And obviously, I'm not the most strong person, but I can recognize that the moment it starts doing shit like that, it's out of your control. You don't, like a dog, right? Like, I love dogs, but the moment you start letting your dog run out and bite people, what happens to the dog, right? And many a times, they put it down. And for some reason, we don't do that with businesses. And I wish they didn't put the dogs down, realistically. But you see what I'm saying with this. So hopefully that made some sense. So I'll see you.